Hey all my fellow and soon-to-be maniacs out there, this is your favorite webcomic creator and animator, the Chainsaw Maniac, here with another edition of Coffee and Chainsaws. A segment basically where I just talk about current events, things that happened to me over the past few weeks and many other things, including media such as comics as well as animation and various other medias as well. So if you guys enjoy the content that I do and you would like to see more, I suggest you head on down to that like button as well as subscribe and ring that notification bell to be notified of anything else I do on this channel. If you want early access to my webcomics as well as support me, I also have a Ko-fi, so check that out as well. So this week has been pretty, well, I wouldn't say chill, but it's been very dark. Let's just say that, because if you guys don't know, the load shedding in South Africa just ramped up today and we a few minutes away from the power switching out. So I just thought, okay, I will just actually record something before it actually hits my ass. Yeah, we're almost on the verge of ending Kill All Heroes Season 1. I'm getting really close to the giant ass finale that's about to take place. I might actually release another superhero guide because I felt like I need people to get more acquainted with the characters and everything. And because I didn't have time to actually explain most of the characters, some of them just die immediately without knowing who the hell they are. So I thought about building some stuff up before we actually knock them down. We might actually get a bit more of a brief introduction with I think I called them the World Justice Alliance. Basically they kind of like the Justice League, or actually they're very similar to the Justice Society. I actually just watched Black Adam also not too long ago. Very awesome movie, and I'll get into that a bit more. They kind of look after the world and all the events that happen all over the world, and they kind of manage all the heroes under them. Each hero has about 10 to 12 heroes under them that they kind of manage and mentor in a way. So these people are coming to the newer episodes, and let's just say a lot of them are going to die. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. There's a lot of gruesome deaths coming for the upcoming finale. This might actually get my webcomic taken down, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, so far Webtoon has been quite lenient, and I don't know how far the leniency will go with this, but obviously it'll be on my Ko-fi, and if it does get taken down, I'll just re-upload it again, you know. I mean, what can you really do, right? I'll just keep uploading until they get sick of my ass and just leave it up on there. But there is something interesting that I do want to talk about in regards to Webtoon, because I just thought it was weird, you know. I was watching one of the other commentary channels on Webtoon. They were talking about how it's weird that Webtoon, they don't want certain things on their website, however they have those certain things on their site itself. For example, like with Mongi, I think it's Mongi, I don't know how to pronounce the creator's name, but she left Webtoon, right, for creative differences, and it was mostly based on the fact that they were kind of age gating a comic. They didn't want that type of things leaked into their website. However, this is the thing with that, is that there are other comics out there. For example, My Hot Cousin, this is exactly what the comic is called. That's up there, and I haven't actually checked that comic out, but just on the base level with the title itself and the imagery given, it's a bit sus, you know what I'm saying? So they can put that stuff up on their site and everyone's fine with that. But then Mongi, who by the way is probably raking in so much cash for them, gets flack for it, and she kind of has to bend to Webtoon's will and kind of not make the type of comic that she wants to make. And I kind of get it from both sides in terms of Webtoon protecting the image. They just don't want that type of thing, but then again, this is where the hypocrisy kind of comes in, where they don't want that certain type of thing, and then that certain type of thing going on with other comics. I don't really know what went fully on with that situation. It just kind of seems weird, you know, and kind of hypocritical that they don't want certain things to be on their site, but then they allow the same thing to be on their site with other comics. It's the same thing with Kill All Heroes, or when I released City of Clones, right? I released City of Clones and they took it down immediately. It got fucking destroyed. They just took that shit down. Meanwhile, we have a series called, I think it's called Hero Killer, right? Where they just straight up decapitating people. Not to mention, I've recently been reading through Unordinary because I've been working on my power scaling video, which actually is coming really soon. I'm almost at the end of reading Unordinary so I can actually get to the power scaling, but I've already actually written down my script for that video, so that video is actually coming soon. But reading through Unordinary, there's a lot of blood in there, a lot of aggression, and a lot of violence. Because obviously John loses his shit and he fucking takes all of it out on kids and beats their asses. And not just beats their asses, but pummels their asses, right? It just straight up beats them down in the most gruesome fashion. Not really that gruesome in terms of the gore and stuff, but it's really brutal to actually see. But yet, my city of clones gets taken down, right? Brutality that wasn't even that brutal, really, if you actually look at it, because it was kind of stylized, so the blood was actually not that graphic. And Ordinary gets pushed up. They just don't have consistent standards with how they deal with comics on the site. Now you could say, okay, maybe they low staffed and they don't actually get enough people to actually check these things out. But like, no, that's not an excuse, because the higher comics, the comics that are getting the most traction, have those type of things in them. So how come they not taking down yet a lower comic like myself, like my comic City of Clones? Like, it barely had any subscribers. Like, I think like I just released and I had like 20 readers, and all of a sudden it gets taken down by someone, right? What the hell? Like, why is this one here but mine is off? I don't get it. I obviously re-uploaded it and it didn't get taken down again, because I think immediately when it got taken down, I talked out about it and I was like, what the fuck? Like, why? Right? And so I guess it didn't get taken down again. It's still probably there. It hasn't actually gotten taken down, but I think it was actually, it could have maybe been just some salty person just reporting my comic for some reason, because they believe like, oh, I don't like this comic, therefore report it, right? It's just one of those things, right? And you see this with everything, right? It's not just Webtoon, let's be honest. It's not just Webtoon. You see this on YouTube as well. Like, you guys have ever seen the Corey Kenshin and Markiplier incident, where Corey Kenshin actually got his channel, well, he actually got a video age restricted and like striked, I think, or something like that, right? And then all of a sudden, when he pointed it out and they said, no, we will not do this, we will not do that for you, like, we want this video to be age restricted and stuff like that. And it was based on a gameplay of, I can't remember, I think it was the Mortuary. And Markiplier then recorded the same gameplay of the same game, obviously with his commentary over it, and it didn't get taken down. That same incident, the same like scenes and stuff, didn't get taken down. And he points it out, and he points to Markiplier's channel, and now YouTube sees this and like, oh shit, this looks bad, right? Because Corey Kenshin's a black guy and we actually favoring Markiplier, and so like we have to kind of fix this, right? And so like now they take down Markiplier's video, you know, it's already too late, the damage is done, and it kind of looks really bad now on YouTube side, because like Corey Kenshin like pointed this out, and he was like, he's not sure if it's a racist thing or if it's just a favoritism thing. Either way, it's both bad, right? So not saying Webtoon's doing any racist shit, they're just doing shady shit is what they're doing, right? They just like it's basically favoritism. That's all it is. Like, they have a certain type of creator that they actually like, right? And so they favor them, they push their shit out, and then when they see, oh, well, we're done with this creator, right? They not getting as much as we would like them to get. Here's a new face that is getting more. Let's favor them and let's actually put their shit out there, right? So that's kind of what happens. Now, I get it, it's businessy stuff as well. You know, the business has to take the interest of the company into consideration and yada yada yada. But like, it's still a shitty thing to do. You know, that's their prerogative. They want to do what they want to do. Look, at the end of the day, I want the best for other creators out there. I want the best for their comics. I love seeing creators succeed. I love seeing them prosper. It really inspires me. It also motivates me to work even harder. So like, I really love seeing that shit, and I will always root for my fellow creators to do the best they can and also push forward, you know, keep doing what you gotta do. On the other hand, like, this is what I will say also to my fellow creators: don't settle for Webtoon. And at this point, I'm like a broken record. Don't just settle for Webtoon or any other platform, by the way. YouTube, TikTok, whatever, right? Just don't just settle for those things. Find a way to market yourself and actually, you know, put yourself out there as the product. That's what I'll say. That way you kind of benefit more, because people are there for you and not for the platform. And this is kind of how I plan on marketing my comic and animation, so to say. And I spoke about this before in terms of my strategy for how I'm actually going to get more people to my comic and stuff like that. And the idea I had was the same way anime kind of shoots people towards the manga of which the anime was adapted on. That's kind of what I want to do with my animations. Base the animations on my comics, and then people who are interested in the animation will be interested in the comic because they want to know what's going to happen next. They want to know more about the characters, the world, you know what I'm saying? And that's what I kind of want to do moving forward, is produce more like short films, you know, maybe do like a type of anime opening for the webcomic or something like that, right? Just to promote the stuff and to get people more invested in it so that they can actually go see the other stuff, you know what I mean? And so that's kind of why I want to also finish up Kill All Heroes really quickly. Well, as quick as I can, obviously. I want to keep some consistency and quality there in terms of the comic itself. I don't want to actually rush the thing, but I actually want to get it done as quick as I can. And then obviously once that's done, moving forward, I will spend more time in creating these comics. I think that's going to be very important because I really actually want to make them look good and like maybe do some studies or something and actually, you know, perfect my artistic skill a bit more so that when I come back for the Merchant of Ignatius, which is going to be the next comic that I'm going to hop back onto, season 2 of that, we'll see a very drastic change in my artistic skill level as well as how I've improved. So it's gonna look night and day compared to season 1 of the Merchant of Ignatius as well. So yeah, that's why I kind of I like separating them in seasons, because it just makes things so much easier, and keeping the seasons short as well, you know, almost like a little arc. It just kind of eases people more into everything a bit, I feel. Now that we got that out of it, there's something also that I wanted to talk about, because I was watching Black Adam. If you guys haven't seen Black Adam, I suggest you. It was a really cool movie, awesome movie. Well, I wouldn't say it's the best movie I've seen in terms of superhero stuff. There was the Justice Society and everything, and I felt they did a decent job at actually portraying everything, and you know, and the direction they went with Black Adam. And it was a pretty fun movie to actually watch and actually just kind of turn my brain off a bit, because this is the thing that I've noticed with Disney Marvel. And I say Disney Marvel because I don't want to, because before Disney took over Marvel, it was fine, and now it's just turned into this absolute shit show. You know, I don't know where people is getting this notion of that Disney, they doing okay. I don't know where that notion came from, because they're losing so much money. And there was other movie this animated movie they just dropped that actually just absolutely got destroyed. Now, mostly because of like poor business decisions, because they released that at the same time they released Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. And obviously, if you're gonna release both at the same time, one of them is gonna not get as much traction because the one is gonna be seen. And it's just like, because before Marvel used to release movies every like once or twice a year, but now there's like Marvel content just flowing out of a Disney machine, and they think they can actually just ride this. And I think you can just ride this horse all the way to Valhalla. And like, speaking of Valhalla, you know, Thor like fucking just did absolute shit. And like Chris Hemsworth and many other actors now, like Chris Hemsworth, Henry Cavill with the Witcher situation, like they actually like, I don't want to act and do this type of thing anymore, because these, well, what they trying to portray for these characters suck ass, right? And there's like a new Pirates of the Caribbean also coming out. There's like a new, I think there's a woman pirate lead now, and I mean that's fine and all, but like it's not gonna encompass Jack Sparrow and what Johnny Depp did with that character. It's just probably not gonna do as well. Obviously, I think I would like, I think Margot Robbie plays the woman pirate, a fun character and very fun actor to actually watch like act, especially what she does with like Harley Quinn, you know, perfect Harley Quinn. I think does Harley Quinn very well. I would actually want to see like just like what it's like. I like actually just watching the stuff and see if it does well. And this is like weird, because like people's like, well, if you don't like it, don't watch it. And I'm like, no, well, I wouldn't know if I like it if I didn't watch it, right? Even though I don't like the overall thing that's happening with like Disney and all the crazy like just be woke for the sake of being woke, right? I don't like that like type of weird thing that they're doing. Obviously, I'm still going to see the movie to see if I'm going to enjoy it, because there's still movies that I watch and I'm like, oh, okay, that was pretty decent. I still haven't watched Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, or Thor, Love and Thunder. I still actually just want to watch that, but I don't want to actually go watch it by the movies. I'm waiting for it to come out on, you know, on like Disney Plus or something, so I can just like watch it. I don't know about this mentality. You know, I had that weird comment. I don't know, when I talk about the woke stuff, I had a bunch of comments and dislikes basically, because you guys don't probably see the comments, because YouTube kind of automatically hides certain certain comments, and I kind of have to manually approve them. I don't know why it still does that shit. Like, just because I just normally block the pornographic, advertisements in terms of my comment section, and I took auto block off because it just blocks everything. It doesn't even like my friend Skits tried to comment on one of my videos and his comment didn't come through. So like, it's just like blocking random comments. So YouTube needs to fix that shit, because there is other comments. I'm not sure if they're actually showing up now. I press approve and it doesn't actually show in the comment section because I want people to see what the dumb shit that people saying. But like, there was a few comments that did actually say like, because when I did the woke videos, so to say, they were saying like, why don't you just not watch it and not complain about it? And I'm like, no, you have to complain about it, because you have to like put your views out there. If you don't actually say anything about it, the company's gonna think, oh, this is fine then. The stuff is shit, but the people's loving it. Like, they're not gonna, because I don't think you understand, these companies, they're not actually clued in on how people actually think and how they actually feel. They just completely disassociate from the actual reality, and they don't actually know what someone is actually thinking, and they don't actually know how to act properly. I don't know if you've seen like how famous or rich people, like people on that level, how they actually have conversations and how uncomfortable they feel with actual like real life conversations. You know what I mean? You have to speak out about this, because it's not going to get better. Like, so with WEBTOON, the reason why I speak out so much about WEBTOON, or I talk a lot of shit on WEBTOON, is because it's not because I hate WEBTOON. It's I want them to do better. I want to see them thrive, right? We want to see the best for these platforms. So the reason why I speak out most about Disney, because I grew up with Disney. Disney was my shit, right? I want to see them do well. I want to see Marvel do well. I want to see Pixar do well. I want to see all these great companies, these companies that I admire, that I was inspired by, that I was motivated by, to actually do good. I actually want them to prosper. I want them to do good. So when I point out some shit and I say this shit is dumb, right? Obviously, I'm not like the best critique. There's certain bias there. Obviously, I like certain stuff more than other stuff. Not everyone's gonna agree with what I say, but it still has to be taken into consideration, right? That's how a company actually gauges what's doing well, what's the people saying, what are the fans saying. Because Disney, they're just ignoring the fans. They're not actually listening to what the fans are saying. DC actually is now listening to the fans like they did with Black Adam, and Black Adam's doing really well because they actually listened to the fans. And Black Adam wasn't a masterpiece, but it was decent enough and it did very well, because they actually listened to what the fans want. And it's not only that, but the actors also are now listening and actually putting in their input. And this is what you want. You want this type of thing going. It's not that the company has to accept everything everyone else says, right? It's just to gauge overall what is the best thing for everyone. So if one person somewhere in buttfuck nowhere doesn't like whatever Marvel puts out, like, who cares about that person, right? So overall, in general, what the people want. Anyway, I don't know if that made sense. I'm trying to actually articulate things and say things properly, but at this point it's just coming off the top of my dome. Obviously I don't script these things, and maybe I'm saying some dumb shit and I'm not making sense. And I just want to put this in my perspective, because a lot of people don't understand where I'm coming from. Being a colored guy from South Africa, I've seen a lot of real shit. There's a lot of real shit happening all the time, every day here in South Africa, okay? So whether it's political shit or whatever, right? It's a real life shit. We're overwhelmed by real shit all the time. So when I want to watch a movie, I want to turn that shit off and just kind of, lose myself in the fantasy a bit. You know what I mean? Just take a little step out, just take a little break, a mental break, and actually just, switch that side of my mind off a bit, I don't want to worry about any other political shit that's happening in any other countries, because I'm so fucked by my country that I can't actually enjoy the movie because you're pumping me with all this other political shit that I don't give a fuck about. It's not that I don't care about it, but like, I'm dealing with my own shit over here. Can we just like make a movie where like things that, I'm not saying make it dumb and like, dumb the story down. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying just keep the movie to its own politics. I don't know if this makes sense. Just keep it to its own in-universe stuff happening in the universe itself. Don't bleed this world stuff into that reality, because we already see enough of that as it is, right? I don't know if I'm getting that across to you guys, like what exactly I'm talking about, because like I don't mind political stuff happening in a movie, but it's based on what is actually happening in the movie, you know what I mean? And not based on real life events. Like, you can make it similar, you know, you can make it very similar, and you can kind of, so that the audience can relate to it, but don't make it on the exact problem at hand. Because the problem with that is these type of medias, usually they pump their own sorts of propaganda into films, and I know, you know, it's not gonna really change that much over time, but you know, it's just my wishful thinking, I guess. Comic books have always been political. There's always been political agendas shoved into comics. There's always been like propaganda shoved into comics, and not only that, but in medias as well, certain types of medias. So we're not going to get rid of it, but what I'm saying is just tone it down a bit. Like, can we just bring it back to the normative levels of political stuff? Can we just, what I'm saying is, don't make everything political. Can we just have a movie that's not any one of that, or a series, or like any other media that's not part of that? You know what I mean? Can we just like even it out a bit? Because right now it's all the way, the pendulum's all the way on the other side, and there's no middle ground here. It's like either watch this or this. You know what I mean? Like, it's like there's no middle ground. There's no, you know, creative shit and content just for the fun of it. It's just, and the problem with that is, and this is a great example, is Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. I haven't actually watched the movie, but I've seen a screenshot of Ironheart, and it made me sick to my stomach, okay? Because this is what's happening now. People are putting their political views over the content and the overall quality of the product, and it's showing. But at the same time, I guess it's also Disney, Marvel also overworking their staff. And obviously the VFX artists have to fucking do these things overnight. But can we just tone it down a bit, guys? Just even it out a bit. I don't mind a little bit of political sauce or woke sauce here and there, you know. Like, me personally, I can tolerate a bunch of political stuff over here, a bunch of woke stuff over here. Like, I can tolerate it. It's fine, you know. It's not a big problem. But like, when you throw that on everything, then it's like, what can I watch, right? Am I just not allowed to watch anything now? Like, it's kind of like, it's the other, like, it's swung the other way. Like because before we weren't getting enough representation and diversity, but now overloaded in the other direction, where it's too diverse. And it's so diverse that it's becoming insulting to the diverse groups and representative groups that are actually being represented in the content. And that's basically on the same level as before. Like, it's just in a different direction. That's all it is. Like, I'm just saying, keep it in the center, you know? That's what I'm saying. Like, just have some middle ground. Can we have some middle ground? Like, just here in the middle. Everyone gets equally enough middle ground to express themselves however they would, or whatever representative stuff they would want to do that, you know? If it disagrees with my beliefs and stuff, you know, it doesn't matter, you know, I just won't watch it. Leave some content out there for people who don't like certain things, you know what I mean? Just leave it out there, you know? So that they happy on this side, they're happy on this side, we're all happy together, right? But that's maybe just my wishful thinking. So I went on the biggest tangent. I don't know how, you know, I just go on tangents and rampages and rants and stuff like that, but yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed listening to me. Some of you just don't even listen. Like, I could be saying anything right now. You just kind of like roll with it, like just background noise, right? So I did say some dumb stuff and it didn't make sense, you know. I take full responsibility for the dumb stuff I say. So it is what it is. So if you guys enjoy the content I do and you would like to see more, hit that like, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and I'll see you guys in the next video.